let's go all the way over to the UK and talk to our good friend Paul. Paul, how the heck are you?
I'm good. Delighted to be called a good friend.
Well, I mean, come on. So in the call screening program in front of me, it says that you are having trouble with spotting your own biases.
Yeah, so this is kind of on the skepticism thing. So actually, I'd called because I'd spotted one of my own biases. So I wanted to do a skeptic flex on you all. Yeah, so I manage a country park, so I'm regularly engaging with people that want to come do stuff on the park, and I've got to quite quickly work out how much I can trust them and how closely I want to keep them on a tight leash, that type of thing. And especially my bias when I'm meeting new people and figuring people out, and do I trust them? And it's to do with swearing. So I am more inclined to trust someone if they swear. And the reason I thought this was interesting because like being brought up Christian, being brought up in that very kind of Christian witness culture, I guess the bias is as soon as you swear or get emotionally or angry, or you instantly lose any conversation or argument, and that's kind of you discredited. And I've obviously been converted from that, trying obviously practicing skepticism, and I've obviously gone the other way, just that kind of lifting, dropping of the mask or the facade or the kind of the falseness of being over polite and over So I just wanted to either dive into the swearing thing and Christian culture on that type of thing and skepticism, or whether you guys had a recent bias you spotted.
I can see where you're coming from with a person who's more comfortable using foul language might be more inclined to just tell you exactly how they feel because they're not holding back out of politeness. Yes, but you could also cultivate
a bit more real.
You could cultivate a lascivious tongue and use that to mask a deceptive mind, right? You could. But I tend, when people talk turkey with me and they use foul language, I think I fall prey to thinking that they're talking straight with me. But for me, it's more what they say, not how they say it. I've had plenty of conversations with folks with big vocabularies where I'm like, oh crap, I'm trying to fake it, versus someone who's swearing up like a sailor. And I think that identifying your tendency to, I don't know, maybe feel a closeness because of the swearing is a step. Like Thufir Hawat says, the first step in avoiding a trap is knowing of its existence.
Oh shit.
Yeah, but not in the new movie, only in the 80s David Lynch movie. Thank you. And I got the Thufir eyebrows. You can't see. But knowing that you have this and the delivery was everything.
That was great.
Knowing that you have that bias is good. So now what do you do with the bias? Well, you have to, I guess, perform an on-the-fly audit of your assumptions that come with it, and then try to isolate it, and then do an overview of the conversation of what's actually happening there. Again, trying to get at a person's motivation, right, is could be a fool's errand, because there are so many people who can speak nicely, gently, smoothly, and yet can be feeding you bullshit the entire time. And there are also people who speak very harshly, who have goodness in their intentionality. So maybe acknowledging that tone and language can be a tool as well as an indicator of honesty, and then sort of sidelining of that, and then just focusing on the substance of what they're talking about might be the way that you avoid the pitfalls of either one.
Yeah. I can tell you that in my own, sort of ongoing journey to trying to be less wrong, there was one book that really stood out to me was Dan Kahneman's Thinking Fast and Slow, where as I was reading that book, I was going, Jesus Christ, how much shit am I wrong about? How, so as I'm evaluating how I come to conclusions and what heuristics I'm using, I'm going, there's a lot of pitfalls here that I'm routinely falling into. I got to be mindful of this. So the two things that stand out to me for trying to be, just again, less wrong is mindfulness and humility. So trying to be mindful of the fact that we are all susceptible to bias, and I mean it's inevitable for us. And then to just in addition to that mindfulness, to stay humble, to evaluate claims as they come, try to just stay on top of it. It's the best we can do. But the thing that you'll notice, the more mindful you are, and the more humility you have with respect to your own thought processes and your own conclusions and your own fallibility, frankly, is you'll start to notice how most people, I mean, I hate to say it, maybe it's different where you live, but here in the United States, misplaced confidence is a problem here, where people, full steam ahead towards whatever feels good to them, and it's not a good way to be correct. So, yeah.
Paul, do you swear? Do you use locker room language a lot yourself?
Don't say locker room language. No.
I'm thinking of the seven words you can't say on television right now.
Yeah.
You do? Okay.
I don't fucking swear.
Well, all right. Good man. But here's the thing. So you've just told me that people who sound or use language like you, people who sound like you, right? People who are more in harmony with you, you have a tendency to trust more, because there's like a resonance, right? There's a resonance frequency.
Of course.
And there's a trap, right? Because Kenneth and I were allegedly, right, in the legal profession. Okay. And we know that you will adapt your speech to the people you're talking to. If I'm allegedly talking to a judge, I'll sound one way. If I'm talking to a jury, it's another. If my client is a very sophisticated business person, I do my best to try to sound like I understand all the sophisticated business person terminology. And when I'm talking to a small business owner or just a person who's a victim of something bad, I will not try to talk over them or down to them, but I try to speak on a level where, we're getting to the crux of the matter, and we're on the same level of rhetoric, whatever it might be. Like, I'm not going to use fancy legal terms when I'm talking to a person who runs a laundromat, unless they have been through lawsuits before, right? And so people can manipulate that, and they will do that to you, not intentionally necessarily, but they will do it. If they're I think intelligent communicators, they will try to match it. But there's a pitfall there, and I guess the pitfall for you is trusting people who sound like you, because sometimes someone's going to hit you out of nowhere who sounds completely different from you, who doesn't have that similar resonance frequency of language, and they might be more true than a person who uses, blue language. And you have to be aware that of that bias, and I don't know, set it aside. But that's my thought on it.
Yeah. Hopefully this was.
I guess that's, like you said, that's sort of half the battle. I've spotted it and I'm aware of it, and I wanted to kind of, promote to theists the glory of being more self-aware and like the opposite, like not shutting down when someone's getting sweary or frustrated when you're talking about religious things. So like my family's very religious, very Christian and work in church and that type of thing. So when I'm talking with them about, issues or Bible stuff, whatever, I've got to do it super politely, because I want to keep them on board and not lose them.
Sure.
Because if I was to slip into more comfortable sweary language, I wouldn't be able to bring them on the journey with me. So I just wanted to kind of say,
we, here on the ACA network, we do have, there's a newer host that we've been trying out on AXP, this guy, Matt, and he sometimes will use, like the fuck word, and people will get really mad, and we'll try to dictate to him how to speak. And it's always stood out to me, Matt and I both came up, in Christian communities, and being told how to speak is a big part of growing up in those communities. Being told certain words are bad and naughty words, and you can't use them because, it makes the devil happy and makes Jesus cry. So you can't use the fuck word and certain other words. And it seems to me that it happens an awful lot like this. Someone will make a shitty argument. Matt will be like, hey, that's a bad fucking argument. And they'll go, hey, don't use the fuck word with me, instead of just addressing the argument. So
yeah, it's a big escape, especially when talking about the Bible, and they suddenly realize that you're more informed on the Bible than they are, but you use the swear word. So boom, I'm out. Escape.
But Paul, I mean, Paul, what you might want to do though.
Victory dance.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you, Paul. But what you might want to do is recognize that there are people who don't like swear words, and if your goal is to make sure that your message or your conversation is going on, you might hold back. Not that they're right, but that you want to make sure that your message gets across, that they understand you, and that you're communicating and you're not letting that get in the way. So sometimes you'll swear because you fucking want to, and other times you won't because you know that there'll be an obstacle. And the greater goal here is communication, not making your conversation style win. Your goal is to go deeper into the topics, right? Go deeper into the issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But on that note, this is a good stopping point for this call.
Yeah.
Paul, thank you very much for calling in. Hopefully we can.
No, thank you. Big fan of the show. Yes, fuck you.
Sweet.
Thanks, Paul.
Yeah, I think this week we go into the week treating biases and fallacies like Pokemon, and we just try to catch them all. You know,